We are back. 365 Sports, NFL Media Headquarters, Radio Row. And, you know, it's been a heck of a day. Tony Dorsett, Earl Campbell around the corner of the segment we did earlier today. Rolando, Cantu, Miguel, Gurwitz with us from Telemundo. We'll broadcast the Super Bowl here on Radio Row. And does it ever change the excitement of doing this game?
Well, we had the Super Bowl last year. This year we went through the playoff divisional round and obviously Sunday Night Football week after week. But we're happy, David and Paul, to be a part of Radio Row and be part of the NFL. And obviously, for me, it's my home city. I'm a former Arizona Cardinal offensive lineman, and for me to welcome my partner Miguel and the whole Telemundo team to cover, just like you guys, right? You travel, you make the investment, you make the research, and for us that we have the blessing to be part of the Sunday night crew and deliver American football in Spanish week after week. It's something beautiful, man.
Miguel, when did you fall in love with play-by-play? Because I don't think, and we do it, and doing radio and all that. It's an art form that I don't think people quite realize. But when did you fall in love with it, and who were your inspirations?
Look, I wanted to be a baseball player when I was little, and but I always knew that if I couldn't make that, I was going to be part of something in sports. And it was back in Mexico. I'm originally from Mexico, and I decided to go into the media because I wanted to be near the sport. And the play-by-play, actually, the NFL was quite an accident because last year the play-by-play, he got COVID, and I was hosting just the TV show, and my producer was like, "Man, you're on." Oh, me? Yeah, you. Okay. So I was there, and he told me, how many times have you done this? With this one? Yeah, 0. Okay, God bless you. Yeah, God bless you too. And I fall in love with that. That was last year.
Was that good? You didn't have a lot of time to think about it?
Yeah, of course. If I would think about it, I would run.
Miguel's being modest because Miguel has a background in journalism, and he's really respected in our Latino communities here. But his core name came from following the Mexican national team in soccer back for multiple years. And when Miguel called that game, our producer Victor Bermudez, I called him immediately. I said, "Hey, this is your guy right here." I mean, he just nailed national broadcast on hours notice, right? And that's where this team that we have now for Sunday Night Football, which we're locked in for the next couple of years, will be delivering this broadcast.
You played the game.
Yes,
How
sir.
much does that help you discuss or analyze the game?
Everything. I think with being in the production meetings with our team and Miguel, my eyes are from the field, right? My experience, the way I analyze the game, the way I call, the way I prep for it is no different than when I was playing. And I think being an offensive lineman, it's helped me a lot when you go into the study room and you see the film and you see how you prep as a player. This is actually what we do. I mean, every week for me, I did 13 seasons for the Arizona Cardinals on the Spanish radio. That was my first gig that kind of led to other adventures on TV, and now that I have this opportunity, well, it's really cool because it comes from the field. My eyes come from the field, and that's how I prep.
Miguel, you did 17 hours straight of travel and games from the World Cup in Qatar, back to Sunday Night Football to Qatar.
Yeah.
How are you here? Like standing up right now, able to speak in any language at all and not just gibberish?
It's a passion. I have like a own hashtag, and they call it work, but it's not. It's my passion. I always wanted to do what I do, so I really enjoy it. How do I make it? I don't know. Obviously, I get tired, and during the World Cup, we were broadcasting 4 games a day. And then I went 4 o'clock in the morning to do the Thanksgiving game, and then back at it. So, but I love it. This is what I do, so I really enjoy it.
And you mentioned that you wanted to play baseball.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't play the game, then why not be a part of it in a different way.
You know, it was different because there were not a lot of opportunities in Mexico to go into the baseball, play-by-play. And I love sports. I do golf, I do Olympics, so I like soccer. And in Mexico, it's the most popular sport. So they gave me the chance. You want to start in soccer? Yeah, of course. And 20 years after that, I moved to the NFL.
What is more tense? The end of the World Cup, like this year we had some great games that went down to penalty kicks and really, look, if you were not a fan of soccer before that, then I don't know how you couldn't be after and seeing what the potential of that is. Or the end of like a Super Bowl NFL game, a big moment in that.
I think for me it's the same thing because I love soccer, I love football, I love golf. Mm-hmm. We do the Open Championship.
Oh yeah.
The Olympics. For me, it's always the same. This World Cup, it was special because of Messi. No, finally he's gonna get his trophy, Argentina. So I think it was special, but I enjoy both.
You know, you can't just both of you walk into a booth and it just works. There's got to be chemistry and there's a camaraderie. Did you guys kind of have that pretty quickly?
Well, Miguel and I have had a relationship, personal relationship for the past 8-9 years, and I knew Miguel before he even got into the mix of football, of the NFL, because he was highly recruited by Telemundo Deportes to come work out of the Miami studios, and yes, you have to have that. It's part of making sure this team works, and the camaraderie on and off the field. In my era, now it's in the booth, outside the booth, has to be there in order for this to work. Isn't
your position as an offensive lineman, isn't that the position group that has to be more in tune than anything else in football?
You have to. It's the way you attack it. You have to make sure you're aware of what's going on. Not only you. I played guard. Obviously, I backed up the interior position center, both guard spots, and you have to make sure you know your assignment, and not only one assignment. If you're going to go into a game, backup center, the left side, river-sided, you have to make sure. And it's the same way. In our broadcast, we make sure we cover all the grounds. And when you have Miguel's background in journalism, I mean, I'm going to tell you this, Dave. The first time I walked into our broadcast booth, Miguel invaded my space.
Oh, yeah.
He put his research depth chart. I mean, you're talking a pro's pro. And I said, "Hey, partner, you want a little bit more room? I mean, I can sit back there if you want, right?" I had never seen somebody prep that much for a Sunday night broadcast or any NFL game in Spanish. And then he did this, David. He's like, "And these are the notes we can share." Obviously, it was like 7 pages. I mean, this is information that took time, right? And I started reading, and it was a full paragraph on, a certain player's background. And obviously I had my note. I was embarrassed. My notes were like bullet points. And you
thought you had prepped.
I thought I had prepped.
Nah, he's being modest.
But then I said, Miguel, can we modify these? If you get, I mean, we're not going to sneak in 7 pages, right? Because he did a whole journalism investigation on the offensive line and the linebacker crew. But it's fun. Those are the moments, you're paired up with somebody who cares about the game, who cares about prepping, and Miguel is right there with anybody on the English side.
We have similar experiences. When he and I first started together, I'd done 5 years of high school football and thought, I'm getting the hang of this. I'd gone from play-by-play and color and kind of back and forth, and I was going to do the color. And he goes, when did you go into practice today? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm going to practice. He's like, well, are you going to talk to a player or coach? Never done that. You are today. And then all of a sudden it just changed completely. What do you guys have a favorite call that you've done? Like a favorite play call, like anything that like sticks out in your head that this is us, this is how.
Well, you're que bárbaro.
I do a que bárbaro. Like, obviously, in our broadcast, if you run the ball the right way, aggressively, I'm going to give you some love. I'm going to give the big boys some love, David.
Sure.
And sometimes I talk about the trenches, and Miguel really loves that. But Miguel is spontaneous. He's passionate, and he puts his flair, his style. We're not copying any styles. It's Miguel Gurwitz and Rolando Cantu. And once we just, it's time to come on in the pregame. We only have one segment in the pregame. We have a full team with Ariana and Jorge Andres that anchor the pregame, and then we're off. This is important because when I started on the broadcast, Spanish broadcast, I mean, you would go through the 2-hour pregame, the in-game, the halftime, and then you would be talking 6 hours at the end of the day, right? And you're tired. You guys know how much effort that takes out of you. But now we just walk in, we're in the in-game, and it's you can tell the difference when that assignment is there.
How do you, in this day and age, and again, there are times when it's an amazing moment, whether it's the World Cup or whatever event you're doing. How do you keep from being too much? How do you get excited, but in this day and age, a lot of younger broadcasters are almost becoming the play rather than letting the play happen.
You have to keep the emotions up every time, every single time. They're different generations, and you need to adapt to all of the audience. You have to look at all of the audience. And when Rolando was saying about the how do you call those type of games, you can make preparation. What am I going to say if we have the winning touchdown? You can't do that.
No, you can't.
Yeah. It has to go naturally.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of games this year, a lot of emotion with the Chargers. It was the Chargers. Jaguars game.
Imagine that game, guys. I'm reaching over to Miguel's notes. Like, give me your notes. We're gonna start storytelling right here, right? And then all of a sudden, the Jaguars just started. They started chopping wood. They started getting back into it. Before the half, they score, and then they come back, receive the ball. They go down the next series and score again. And it's like, okay, this is gonna happen, right? And then the call Miguel finished with was the first down call for the Jaguars, which is DJ Chark, and then it was
that was with the Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Lions. That was the Detroit Lions. But when you go into these games and then the emotion switches, you have to be prepped for everything, right? Sometimes you have to have your notes ready, and you have to trust that you put the time in order for.
And again, I'm not. You're doing it at a international level, but you're right. You cannot plan the big moment. You have to be prepared for it, and you just let it happen.
Exactly. You need to feel that.
Yes.
You need to feel that. And that game, I finished with, with the Jaguars, you're not going to do that in my house, with my people, in my face.
That was it.
And that was like the Jaguars miracle. It was a miracle, and you need to let it go. Maybe you can make a mistake, but you need to let it go.
There was a time, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm old enough to 42 years in the business, but there was really not a lot of access for Spanish network broadcast. Oh. So there was those first, the legacies or whatever, and it's now it should be. We have it. It's accepted, and it's wonderful. And there was a time where you wouldn't have been given opportunities.
No, there were a lot of.
You had to break some barriers along the way.
Yeah, and I say thank you to all of those guys that battled with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they broke those barriers.
Just like women in broadcasting, and just whatever it is.
They made it easy for us.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, did you have someone that was your, like the one, like depending on how old you are. Like for me, there's some that. Did you have one that you wanted to be him?
Yeah, you always have one like idol in this. It's in Mexico, but if you in the U.S., I love Al Michaels. That miracle call, you have to let it go.
The game with Russia.
Exactly. That's number one.
And that was a natural reaction.
Natural.
I got goosebumps. Oh.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even on live television. That was like tape delayed back in 1980.
Beautiful.
Who's yours?
I got to go with John Madden.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm a color guy, and it just, you grew up with it. Even though I grew up in Mexico, close to Texas, and also in Texas, I did my schooling in Texas. You would hear John Madden, and you would just hear his voice, and it was just different. It was natural.
Yes,
it was natural.
It really was.
And that's the style that you have to develop, and obviously you have to back it up with with the knowledge and the analysts that you have prepped.
Millions and millions of people will watch or listen to what you do or sports, and it is Sunday in the Sunday Night Football and all of what you do. Do you ever realize how many people might be watching or listening?
No, I won't.
You
No, we'll freak out. No.
We never ask. Our producer's really good. Once we're done, we have a recap meeting. Sometimes we're quick, and then something's discussed, and everybody goes home, and then all of a sudden, the next day, whenever he gets the ratings, he'll shoot them over in a little WhatsApp text, and then we go from there. This year, it was our full calendar year with Miguel and myself and the rest of the team, and we did great numbers. And I think by showing up on the Sunday night premiere broadcast of the week has really given us the confidence and obviously the dedication to kind of continue this, right? Because we already set the bar for this year. And for me, talking about football in Spanish and really relating to maybe that first or second generation that still has grandpa that, watches Spanish TV, but now you can incorporate the young ones, right? Because hey, grandpa can understand Spanish and now is finally, not that they weren't watching the NFL or American football on TV, they were, but now that there's an option for them to follow the game in their native language.
I'll tell you what else. So I took 6 years of Spanish between high school and college.
Okay.
I got pretty fluent, and then I've dropped off since then. I can still understand. I cannot speak. So I called my old high school Spanish teacher, and I said, hey, I've got to get back in. I feel like I wasted all this time, and I got really good, and I can still hear, but when I'm trying to speak back, then I get hung up on a word, and then by that time it's awkward and the conversation has moved, especially if it's two people, and then I'm trying to be the third person in the conversation. He said, you know what you need to do? You're a sports guy. Listen to Spanish language broadcasts. That's your world. I have started to do that, and it's starting to come back a little bit.
Okay.
So I'll probably watch a little bit of you guys and do that. He used to give us projects in school, like you had to watch something, and you had to translate it without, no, you can't watch subtitles, nothing. And that was what we did. And it's been huge. It's been huge for me. And plus you guys, it's so much fun. It's different. It's like just vibrant.
You can feel the passion.
You can feel the passion for sports that you guys have. Yeah.
Miguel Gurwitz and also Rolando Cantu, again, Telemundo, and wow, this has been fun, man. And I can see why you guys have such a great mesh from the beginning. Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
And continued good luck.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
365 Sports, Super Bowl 57, NFL Media Headquarters.